How many of you are in this room because that is what Unilag gave me to do?
Maybe one of the regret I had was that why did I not even study agriculture?
You can even start a full-blown career in this space.
Get education and skills.
Yeah. Yes.
They are very, very, very important.
If you're doing this just because you want to make money out of it, it shows.
I think I just want to beg Lagos people, please.
No matter how old, no matter how young you are, go and start something.
Please let's stop it so that we can have a very good environment, so that water will not carry all of us away, and so that the work NCF is doing will not also be in vain. So,
right.
Yeah.
Hello, welcome back to your favorite podcast, the Naija Eco Vibes podcast, where we are sustaining nature one vibe at a time. I remain Sanga Turate Excella. You can also call me Tura, the legal and policy officer at NCF and your host for this podcast. This podcast is powerfully sponsored and powered by the Nigerian Conservation Foundation, and we are currently in the heart of Lekki Conservation Center. The topic for this particular episode is going to be on climate careers, green jobs, and youth opportunities in a changing world. That is such a pragmatic topic, and we want you to enjoy. In this studio, I'm not doing this alone. I have my co-host here with me, Mr. Shomi.
Hello, everyone. Hi, it's nice to be back here again. So you're looking very shiny and looking all good.
Thank you.
Yes, so it's a beautiful day to be here and talk about another thing, another beautiful topic around climate careers today.
Yeah.
First of all, again, I am Shomi, Media and Communications Manager for the Nigerian Conservation Foundation. And, just to set a kind of basis for our conversation today, climate change, like we like to talk about, is not a distant thing anymore. It's literally here, and we can see it and we can feel it in everything that we do, from droughts in the north to deforestation, and these issues are closer to home than we can think. And this topic presents us a good opportunity to delve into that and look to prefer solutions around it.
The Yorubas, they call them the Ejanla. We have big fish on this subject matter.
Tell me about it.
We can't do justice enough on their portfolio, on their bio. So want to give them the opportunity to, shine the light on themselves. Please, you have the floor.
Thank you so much. I think the first thing I will have to say is just that number one, I'm not an Ejanla. Maybe I'll actually call it Ejakekere or something, but actually you see a fish though. Okay, so my name is Oluwaseyi Ale. To describe myself, I would say that I work at the intersection of climate change and also business development. Because at every heart of every social development, you have to put business into it, and that is what I'm really very concerned about. So first of all, I'm the founder of Good Climate Sustainability Initiative, whereby we are democratizing climate education across Africa. We want to see how we can make an input of climate education to be able to have an impact of having a climate action across Africa, whereby youth are solving the problem of climate education. And so for me, I see education as one of the most important things. Even if we're going to talk about innovation, we're going to talk about climate problem, we're also going to even talk about social development problem and all. Then also I drive growth across sustainable development. I've worked in areas of health tech. I've worked in the area of even innovation support. I've also worked in areas of education. And I think let me just stop there because I already mentioned I'm a Jakekere. So
you've been humble.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much for that. And I think we're going to
Yes, it's nice to also meet our co-guest as well.
Okay, so hello everyone. My name is Doyinsola Ogunye. I don't know about Ejakekere or Ejala, but I like to call myself a passionate lover of the environment. I'm a lawyer, non-practicing lawyer, by the way, and I always like to call myself the senior advocate of nature because I always love to fight for the environment and do stuff for the environment. I founded an organization called the Recycling Scheme for Women and Youth Empowerment, and this is something that is so dear to my heart because when we started our projects in 2009, 10 years after, we started looking at how to support women and to support youth in this circular economy space. So I don't just do recycling, I also do a lot of tree planting, a lot of beach cleanup activities, a lot of, anything that brings people closer to nature in a way that supports both. So basically that's what I do.
Awesome. Nice. I love the phrase you use, senior advocate for nature.
It's still sand.
Yes, sand.
That's what I was saying.
The pun is intended.
Very good.
Because Yeah, my dad always wanted me to be a son of blessed memory, and I always tell him that, Daddy, don't worry, we are going to be Shebi sons. We're already
Work it
son.
out.
Yes, yes, so, yeah.
Fantastic.
Awesome. All right, then. So I
Please
think
like,
having
comment, and follow the conversation. That can be your own quota to the environment. Like, comment, and share the videos. Let the the information go around. Let people know, your friends, your colleagues, everybody. Like we rightly say on the podcast that the problem of the environment is the problem of everybody. So we should all work in sync, collaboration to getting the awareness out there.
Awesome. So at this point, I'd like us just take our story. So how did you find yourself? What was the inspiration behind you coming into this space? Because by default, the average person on the street is not thinking of climate space or something right now. So how did you find yourself in these waters? Let's do ladies first.
Oh, ladies first. Okay. So I would say it found me.
Wow, it found you.
Yeah. The calling found me.
Okay.
I grew up around nature, planting trees, doing, everything. I played a lot as a child.
No.
I would always, I was always outside. I was always
Nice.
doing things around the environment. And then we moved from one part of Lagos to another part of Lagos. And then when we got to this part, I saw a lot of, especially children, littering the environment, people would actually take waste and put it in gutters and things like that. I'd never seen that before in my life.
Wow.
And for other people, it was like, oh, it happens. But for me, I was like, this is wrong. We need to do something about it. And this was way back in 2002.
Wow.
I was still in secondary school at the time. What I really wanted to do, so every time I come home for holidays, I would see this happen and I'm like, I need to do something. So in 2008, we started doing, I was talking to adults and nobody cared to listen. There was this, we never chop. Which one is
It's always that phrase.
And then recycling was not a big thing and everybody was just, I said, okay, why don't I start with the children? Why don't I make it fun for children? And that's how, in 2009, I started with the Kids Clean Club. I would take children out, I would teach them about the environment, we plant seeds, and it was always fun. And fast forward, I was doing it in my small community at the back of my house, and then we moved out of the environment. We started going to schools, we started going to churches, we started going to, in fact, we were just all out, and it started to grow. And then I started to do things with women, I started to do things with young people, I started to do more of tree planting, and then I moved closer to the ocean, and that was where the love for the ocean now came so heavy in my heart, and I had to do something. So the story is long, but let me just stop here.
I can even
journey you
see
have.
the coral ring on your hand to indicate your love for the marine ecosystem.
Somebody gave this to me, and
that's
I was
fantastic.
like, yes, I do. Like I would do this over and over again.
You drew inspiration from your immediate environment and then you
Exactly.
expanded it into what you're doing today. So it's very incredible. It's inspiring to a lot of young people, especially young girls out there. So it's not necessarily when you've attained all the sandship, quote and unquote, now you can start doing this.
Right.
So from
So you
that,
don't have to wait till we've all got it figured out.
yes, from
You
that
can start
early
your little
stage.
place,
True.
yeah.
Little
Awesome.
beginnings.
Awesome.
So can we hear from you, Oluwaseyi? What was your inspiration into this field? You could have chosen anything.
Okay, so first of all, I might not have a very, very interesting story, like you mentioned.
Can't tell me. Just say
You like being very
All right, so
humble.
so for me, I think I'm more of a managerial person and someone that likes managing. So I always wanted to be a doctor all my life, and it got to one point that I have to sit back and I ask myself that what do you want to do? I want to serve people, and I think the first time I heard about climate change was that not 2011? Yeah. So and one of my mentor asked me okay, fine, if you said you wanted to be a doctor and do you really need to be in the hospital to serve people? Then that was when I learned about Doctors Without Borders, and what I want to do was actually to serve people. Then I think there was a COP that year, I can't really remember. Then I watched it on TV and I mentioned to myself that this looks like what I wanted to do.
Nice.
Then when feeling jam from the other year, I decided to do environmental management and toxicology in FUNAB. I couldn't tell my father actually because
because we asked, where is the doctor?
yeah, because I was meant to be a doctor and I was supposed to be the family doctor for everybody in the
Right.
family. Yeah. But so I lied to him that I was actually studying medicine in school really. And first year,
serious?
second year, I was not really interested. Like first year, second year. Then I think third year in school, I was actually introduced to a topic called economic geography, and I think I kind of like it because it puts into perspective not just about environment alone, about how environment is also economical. Then I started learning things like haulage time that you actually like spend in Lekki traffic could actually like be monetary and things like that. So I look upon myself that, okay, fine, I can do this thing not just in the medical way, also in the economic way and also in the managerial way. So I think at my internship here, I decided to volunteer for Mrs. Temitope Okuno, FEB International Foundation. Then I learned a lot from her. Then I got into the space. Then we decided to start Good Climate project because we saw the educational gap. So if we're teaching recycling, if we're actually like teaching upcycling and whole or something, and students do not really know about climate science or even the problem itself or even about the impacts, what are we really teaching then? So we like look at, okay, fine, the root problem is education. The root problem is sensitization and awareness. So let's start from that and let's craft it into more like into a core educational thing rather than just like teaching it as a basics or something. Then if federal government is not going to introduce climate education into curricula, I think we private organization can start doing it right from then. So so that was actually like how I started. Then I decided to add business development into it because that is actually like one of the career path I chose then. Then right now I think I'm more like raising funds for maybe climate organizations and seeing how we can build a sustainable business. So let me just stop there because of time.
I said it before that he's an Ijala. I said no, he's not. So it's I mean, this is quite striking because looking at both of you, you're young people and you're already making this incredible strides in the environmental space,
doing exploits.
Yes. So for me, for us, as an organization, we are very key on sensitization and awareness on these, environmental threats, the matters, and the possible solutions to them. So, saying that climate, did you call it climate education now? Climate education.
Yes, climate education. Yes.
If it should be put into the curriculum, we have, we've been doing some conservation clubs, environmental clubs, especially in secondary schools. Yeah. So if that could, come into the curriculum and even be a possible WAEC subject that people would have to pass. And it shouldn't just be theoretical. It has to be practical. It has to, hands-on experience, just the way we did agriculture these days, or biology or chemistry. It has to be practical. So that's a very key point that I took from that. Also for doing your personal encounter with the nature and environment is also very striking. So I would like to ask, do you think that there are like good opportunities out there for young people in terms of, smart green jobs? Because from what both of you are already doing in your diverse, fields, you're doing something related to nature, you're doing something related to, green jobs. You mentioned about upcycling, then you mentioned about recycling plastic, exactly, cleaning of the beach. So do you think there are other opportunities out there, maybe other green jobs young Nigerians may not have heard of?
Yeah, I would say there are several, and for everything that happens in the white collar space, you have it in getting green jobs out. So if you say somebody is a content creator, for example, which is a new type of job in this climate,
this area,
you can actually do content creation for nature. Podcasts have now become very
like this platform.
And now there's a platform like this. You can be a photographer photographing just nature. You can be a journalist, doing things for nature, and the list goes on and on. You can get jobs in this space. You can even start a full-blown career in this space.
Interesting.
And regardless of what you studied in school, and I'll say that again, regardless of what you studied in school, because I studied law. I'd mentioned that. I've never practiced a day in my life. Maybe those days where my dad will call me, I'm like, oh daddy, yes, I'm in court. Just shout out to all the parents out there for dealing with people like us. But yes, we need to understand that, whether you're a doctor, whether you're a lawyer, whether you're an architect, there's something called biophilic architecture now, where we're putting a lot of intention into bringing green into our spaces now.
So what did you call that again?
Biophilic architecture. Yes, where, something like where we're even, it's made out of a lot of wood. You can see a lot of wood, a lot of nature, a lot of
Nature-based.
fresh air. You know, we don't even need fans, you know, in spaces like that. And that's how people have started, especially architects, have started to build now because it's now a thing, you know. So we shouldn't strike out anything. You know, you can be anything and still work in this space.
Yeah. Oluwaseyi, do you want to shed light on that?
Yeah, I think what I would say is just that, number one, climate change is actually an holistic topic itself. It's not something that is redundant to, let's say, maybe, I don't think there's anything actually like redundant. So one of the ideas I have now is just that, like some of the things we started like thinking about is how can we train every other person in every sector about climate change. So, you know, as an accountant, you need to maybe consult for climate organizations. Like some of the top jobs now are going to be like that. Deloitte want to employ people that know about this.
Sustainable financing and reporting.
You
That's
get
what they call it.
Banwan and Godalo need lawyers that are actually like conversant with these topics and something like that. Then even oil refineries and oil. So like she mentioned, climate podcasts are very big now. Like you see,
Shout out
like,
to us now.
Yes.
So that's what we're tending to look like now. That can we create educations that flow in line with this? Can we start teaching accountants on climate ways of doing their business, ESGs and things like that, financing, auditing in climate and things like that? And this is actually like a very, very big blown sectors now and things like that. Then also, like we're going to mention climate innovation, tech. I think maybe in the last 10 years, if I tell my dad that I want to maybe be a software developer, it might have cost me actually, but right now everybody wants to program. And so I think that's one of the things we can look at, that because this sector is actually like progressing to that age. And that's one of the things we really like need to point out. So instead of just talking about maybe jobs opportunity or something, so we need to create our opportunities, look at what is happening and create it, because the jobs right now are not going to be available in the next 10 years. We're going to have like a new job. And it's also, and one of the things I tell people, young people, when I go to talk, I'm also a young person actually, it's just that, number one, do not wait for a job. I mean, do not wait for you to be given a job. You can always create a job for yourself. And you can call yourself that portfolio.
Interesting.
Yeah. So right now, maybe I call myself a sustainable business development. I don't know if there's anything like that.
And you've coined this.
But the point is taken. You could create a job for yourself. But I think the most important question right now that will be on the lips of, you know, young people, our audiences, is there money in this sector? Is it economical viable?
The short answer is yes. There is a lot of money in this space, and
Please raise the volume.
A lot of money there. The money is there. It's plenty.
Yeah.
But a lot of people don't know how to unlock it. But I'll start with saying, let me just tell a little story.
Please, by all
because
means.
everybody, you know, we're all young, we're all looking, you know, for the next
to
best
get it.
thing and all that. And, you know, starting this conversation, I said that I did this solely because I was so passionate about it. So for years, almost a decade, I was doing it, and I was looking for money outside. I was, you know, family and friends, because I started with a non-governmental organization. So I have a not-for-profit organization
That you founded.
that I founded as well.
Okay.
So that's what and it was, you know, there's donor fatigue. Nobody wants to give you money and everything. And, you know, the passion was there, so much to do. So I one day, and I'd been collecting a lot of plastic bottles. I would just collect it and keep and collect it somewhere. So that day, I was just like, let me go and sell this thing. And I got somebody and I sold everything. This was 2009 or 2010. Everything was like 200 and something thousand naira.
Wow.
At that time, I was like, wow. As in,
And that was almost some 15 years ago.
yes.
I think the equivalent value for that would be like $1 million now.
Exactly my
Yes.
point. Thank you. I was like, what? From this plastic that was just at my back, I was like, okay, so let's know how to get more money out of this thing and to make it sustainable. And, you know, it was on that bedrock that I started to get more people to be involved in what we're doing. And apart from that, I also have another passion. I love planting trees. I can literally do it in my sleep. And at the time, I was planting, I have gardeners that I work with. And the gardener just told me that, Madam, this your 50 naira trees that you are selling, you are planting. Why don't you plant something more economical, that I should start planting palms? And I was like, okay. So I started planting palms. This was, I think, in 2012. Yeah. I started planting palms, you know, because I just love to do it. And then an organization reached out to me and they said they wanted me to plant 5,000 trees.
Wow.
And the multiplier effect, I think I was selling one for 5,000 naira.
Oh.
So you can, and I was like, oh, okay, this is actually
Interesting.
looking good. Right?
Right.
Let's plant 10 million trees and let's look for an organization to,
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is there's a lot of opportunity. Apart from that, we're even renting some of our plans for events. We've gotten into the tourism space, we've gotten into the event space.
Wow.
And there's so much. And just before I came on set today, I saw something about 8 hours ago.
Yeah.
The information is out there.
Yeah.
The African Development Bank commits $40 million to catalyze for green infrastructure projects.
Interesting.
$40 million.
Millions.
I don't
Wow.
need to do the math. That is how much money is out there, and this is just one organization
Putting that
and
out.
putting that out, and it's blended finance. So you have equity, you have grants, so they're reaching out to everybody, including us. So the opportunities are there, and we need to continue to get people to see that. Fine, we're saving the environment, but you can actually do more. Not
Yes.
just for the environment, but for yourself and for the next generation.
True.
And the funds are there.
Fantastic. There's something we discuss in-house organization. We say
Yes.
that when you take care of nature, nature will
Nature
in turn
take
take
care
care
of
of
you.
you. So you can
Exactly.
see that while you're taking care of the environment, you were
True.
just picking the pet bottles, keeping them
Exactly.
at your backyard. It eventually gave you, this could be somebody's source of livelihood.
Forever,
Exactly.
exactly.
In fact,
And
there
let
are-
me
there are
even
tens
just
of people,
let me
actually.
just even pitch this in. I remember I love beach cleanups. I
Yeah.
love the ocean, so I would do a lot of beach cleanups, and I got ridiculed for it. You
Are
hear
you
people
serious?
say, "Oh, go and get a job." You hear people say that you're lazy.
Oh, wow.
You're just a beach comber, and I was just like, okay. Let me be that beach comber. And that's what I started to do. And then organizations started, I'm not going to mention any on this
Yeah.
on this
Fine.
platform, but organizations started to reach out to me. They want to do a beach cleanup. How can we, facilitate it? And, and they were ready to pay because it's something that, requires a service and requires a skill. And organizations were paying as much as 3.55 million naira per cleanup. And
Interesting.
it's not just the cleanup,
Yeah.
but how you have packaged the experience in such a way that people can see value from it and you can get value from it as well. So there's so much. So everything that I've decided to do for nature, there is a reward system, there's a financial reward system, behind everything. But the disclaimer I like to put out there is I don't want anybody to listen to this podcast and say, money day, make I go. It shows. If you're doing this just because you want to make money out of it, it shows. And if you're doing it because you're concerned about the environment and
Right.
you really want to give back, it also shows. So let's be careful not to balance it out.
And so the advice is people need to find the balance between the interest, picking interest, understanding what is happening. How can you contribute your own quota? Find your interest
exactly.
in this space. And not just chase only the money alone. Find where your interest, because that's what will sustain.
That will sustain
Because
you
again,
over-
there's some challenge I'm going to ask you. That what challenge do people face along the line? Because if some people just go into this space just for the money, when the challenges come, it becomes a struggle.
I mean, listen to what she said.
Yeah.
You can't even just get into the space and make the money. You have to do the
You have
work.
to build the
Remember, she was
groundwork,
called
yes.
names before she even started seeing the process.
Exactly.
Of it. So the
Exactly.
work, you have to show workings.
Exactly.
You have to show
True.
workings.
Exactly.
And then you see it's normal even in the private sector. You work now before you start seeing dividends. You buy
True.
shares. The shares will have to work before
Give
you
it
start
time
seeing
to grow
so,
and give
yes,
you.
there are times and seasons. So you have to actually do the work for the environment before you start seeing
True.
those proceeds. You can't just just think that this is
Just dabble in and expect.
and to be fair to every job or every career path or field, there is dignity of labor. So
Exactly.
every labor, whatsoever anybody is doing, there has to be some level of effort exerted, an amount of
Yes.
energy exerted into doing that. So you can't just go into. But I love the balance that you gave, doing so that's
Very important that
fantastic. So
yes.
people know that yes, there is money, but you have to do
The work. Yes.
Exactly.
The
Yes.
money is in the action.
Exactly.
Exactly.
I think that
The
gets-
money is in the action,
money is in the
yes.
action.
I think you guys have said everything all. But maybe creating an illustration to it. It's
Okay.
not like I think the thing about business is about refining. It's not even about. I think God created everything. Nature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Created nature, created money, created. So resources are always in thermodynamics. It's
Yeah.
circular. So it's just what she was saying about cleaning. Cleaning is not glittering business actually. Like environment is
Quote
not
and unquote
glittering.
dirty job.
Exactly.
Dirty. Like Yoruba used to say that like like packing
Money is in the feces,
sewage
money is
in
in
the
the
olden
air.
days.
Oh, that's what you meant.
Yes,
Yeah.
money is in the
That's
feces.
the
yes.
meaning. That
Wow.
it's crazy. Imagine packing sewage.
Yeah.
I don't think a normal person will want to do that.
We
but
will be interested
should I
in-
want to tell you how much people that pack sewage really makes? It's big money, really. Imagine packing plastics. Like people are going to call you names. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't this. It doesn't that,
not
and things. But
dignified, yeah.
when you calculate, you're going to see that it's a whole lot. It's a pace setter business. It means that you're going into a sector that people do not know about. So that means you are one of the
Right.
first people that is
Very
going to like
true.
make that money.
True,
So
true.
it's not like tech now. There was a time
It's like
everybody
didn't-
there was a time
yeah.
everybody were like looking at tech. Will it work?
Was a
Will
bit
it not
skeptical.
work?
Yeah.
Then it's
Yes.
work for some
Yeah.
people. Then
Yes.
they make the money out of it or something.
True.
You might not be able to make it now, but climate and environment is more like what we're going to now, and it's how fast. And you've said it all. You need training. You need training. You need to also be able to refine your own business skills because the money is not just going to be on the road. So
Exactly.
you need to know how to
Unlock
do the
it.
business. How
package it.
how do you also want to put other skills into making it? You need to be like develop business business innovation, business tech, risk funds, and things like that. So I think that's it. But all in all, there's a lot of money, but you're not going to make it easily.
Easily. Awesome.
Exactly.
This conversation is convoluted. There is so much I want to say. Did you want to
Exactly.
say-
Yeah, beauty. Because I was
Yeah.
just going to say maybe just to bring us back a bit because we of course we are already delving and I'm sure right now people are already getting ideas around what they can do. But just to also further hit the nail on the head.
Yeah.
When we look at these green jobs, exactly
Climate
because it still
careers.
feels like it still feels like a big buzzword that is just out there. Green jobs,
Everybody's talking
climate
about
careers, changing environment and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
So when we say these green jobs, can we just break it down so everybody listening understands what we mean, so people can have a proper grasp of what we're talking about here? Yes.
I think there are 1 million actually. I think the best way to say it is also
Yes.
to distribute them into different sectors. We
Right.
have a whole lot of sector in environments now.
Yes.
We want to talk about waste management itself.
Okay.
So waste management has to do with number one, management aspect.
Okay.
It has to do with the technical aspect. It has to do with the tech
Right.
aspect. Then we can also even see the kind of policy aspect also.
Even in the waste management.
Even in waste management. That is
Interesting.
just waste management alone. So
Yes.
so let me say now, and also waste is different. There is a
Okay.
whole lot of waste. Do you want to talk about plastic waste? Do you want to talk
Interesting.
about aluminium melter waste?
Yeah.
Tin, even leaf, even sachets. Do you want to talk about those? So one thing I tell people is just that don't even look at what you can bring to it.
Right.
So what are you doing already that you can bring into? So for me, especially, I'm a manager. So
Yes.
I can decide to start a business in that. I don't want to
Okay.
know the technical aspect. All I just want to do is to bring people together, to
Build
be
a
able
business
to-
around it.
to
And then
build
handle
business.
it.
Yeah, then maybe tech people can actually enter too. Do you want to create an app that solves a problem? Do you want to create a solution that is technical? Maybe how can we refine waste
Yeah.
better than the way we've been doing it before? So I
Right.
used to have like a center in Abeokuta where I think at the first we employed almost like 17 people to be refining just plastic waste alone. Just plastic. And it's a particular type of plastic. Not even any plastic. And people were telling us, do you want to do it? And I said, I can't do it because I can't. I don't have the capacity to do it. Why? Because it's big. So also moving away from that, do you also want to go into water? Do you want to go
Okay.
into let me just leave it. I think Madam Doyinsola has been doing it for a long time. So let me just leave her.
He has said it all. There is so much. There is so much we can do in this space. But if you look at what you're doing, so I would say fashion. There's a
Oh.
lot of conversation, sustainable fashion,
Yes.
Okay. So you mean fashion and the environment?
And the
There's a
environment.
linkage.
Yes, there's a linkage now.
Okay.
People are they're sourcing for fabrics that are helpful to the environment. Even
Friendly.
even hair. I'm just picking.
Yes,
Just like
yes.
even hair. There's this fabric made out of banana. There's this synthetic. It's not synthetic. It's natural
Yeah.
fiber
Natural, yeah.
from banana stems.
I think, is it banana or plantain?
Banana plantain, yes,
Yeah.
and they're pulling out
from it.
the fabric from it or the material from it,
strands.
the strand,
Yeah.
and they're using it to make
Wigs.
weaves.
Braided wigs.
Do you understand?
Interesting.
So there's so much, are we going to talk about lifestyle? Are we going to talk about it's so many, even events management, there's so that you can always add a little bit of green and a little bit of green investment to what you're doing. So I don't want to, so whether you're a teacher, whether you're a fashion designer, whether you're a photographer, I mentioned before,
yes, you mentioned.
there is always something you can contribute to the green economy, to the circular economy.
So I don't know if I can add this. I think this is one part that people are not really looking at. Maybe because the job seems like a lot also. Do you know that a whole lot of doctors in Nigeria now are no longer practicing in the hospital? I work for a digital health company, and we have doctors that all they do is telemedicine and advising. They don't
Right.
take... So...
Sorry, you mean the doctors that are remaining, not the ones that have just
Yeah, yeah, the ones that are remaining. I don't have time to spend maybe 10 hours, 12 hours doing ward round. Now it's stressful. So I want to do something that is also sustainable. So now the part we're working on now is how can we, what is the intersection between climate change and disease control and pandemic and epidemic. Yeah, so that is actually the area I'm working on now. And it's a lot. And fun enough, it's very, very interesting because we are not even treating. What we are doing is actually to create computer model that look at climate change metrics, more like rainfall, like heat waves, and create a computer model that tells us that, oh, fine, this is the disease that is going to come out in this particular area if you have this kind of heat wave. And that is actually combining 3 sectors together: climate change, health,
and technology.
our doctor actually, and also tech together, which fantastic.
I love what you said, because it's currently, I don't know if any of you that you've been feeling this, there's a current flu in the air.
I was going to
Causes
say,
either a
cough and yes.
catarrh. You
Yes,
probably think
yes.
it's malaria or something.
A new flu is now outside. We're still faced by the former flu. Is just that the weather has
The weather
just
is now
like
making,
changed.
maybe aggravating it
yeah,
now.
so we have
Yes.
Yes.
climate change, as you've said. So I think averagely the temperature for this week has been around 22 to 24. And since I've been in Lagos, I don't think I've seen anything like that. I was even telling someone, it's most like I think the last time I saw temperature was like this, maybe when I was outside Nigeria or something.
Yes,
But
because
imagine
for the past few weeks,
we're having
cold
22
in
now,
Lagos.
and yeah. So
Yes.
if you have that kind of constant change in temperature, you're
Yes.
going to have because your body is not used to that temperature. So that means we don't have a new flu. It's just because
It's
the weather is
change.
kind of
Changing.
different.
Ah,
So your
it's
body is
climate
reacting
change.
to it.
Yeah.
We are seeing here is pretty cold. But right now in Spain, some parts of Spain is heat wave, and it's causing even fire to heat up through the forest and all of that. So you can see that these issues, like we are saying, is coming even fast close to home.
So I want to add, just to chime into what he had mentioned.
Yes.
The fact that, who do you think a herbalist is? When you hear herbalist, what comes
Okay.
to mind? Let's be honest. As
So
Nigerian,
the word that is babalawo.
But when
Yes.
you say herbalist, growing up, you just hear herbalist, you just okay, it's jazz. You understand? But a herbalist is somebody that goes back to nature and finds, healing from nature. So when you plant herbs and you take herbs like your lemongrass, your moringa, and everything,
turmeric.
your turmeric, thank you, and all those things, even your juice, your normal juices and everything, it helps your body. So right now, talking about the jobs as well, people are going back to
Right.
nature to look for those simple things, the cloves, the turmeric, the everything, and there are jobs
That
there.
is so
When it
smart.
comes to wellness, a lot of people are like, okay, how can we proactively care for ourselves instead of popping pills all the time? So there are jobs there.
A couple of weeks ago, we had a workshop with traditional medicine practitioners
Right.
across Nigeria. So we had even the president, the entire
True,
executive of
true,
that body.
true.
So it was a workshop / sensitization against the use of vulture for
Right.
traditional medicine, because the vultures, the species is actually reducing. Out of 9, we have just 1 species left in Nigeria.
What?
So that is at a very, very detrimental rate.
Yes.
They are critically endangered.
True.
Currently in Appendix 1 of the Endangered Species Protection Act. But the interesting thing there is the president of the traditional TMP, that's what they call them, traditional medicine practitioners.
Yes.
He mentioned that they usually use vulture for antibiotics. That's a word.
Okay.
Antibiotics, they use it for wealth. There is a myth that vulture is affiliated
yes.
with wealth, so they use. So he said instead of that, that was part of one of the objectives of the workshop.
Yes.
We should go for plant-based solutions.
Exactly.
So we brought out lemongrass, ginger, moringa.
Fantastic.
Interesting.
There is even a plant name almost after my name.
I think I should
So if you blend all
Right.
of that, it gives you antibiotics. It has antibiotics properties. Looking at it, we can see that across the value chain, we can have elements of environment in there. I hope that our audience can hear this and pick up one or two lines. And our fashion brands too. They can come. NCF is always here. We can collaborate.
Right.
There's strength in
some-
collaboration.
Yes,
Working in
yes.
sync.
So one of the things I tell people now is the fact that if you're going to do any work, make sure that it is actually evidence-based work.
Exactly.
Full of data.
Yes,
and,
it can be
and
verified,
things like
reliable,
that.
and all
So
of that. Yes.
we can always bring tech into all this, and it's very, very simple. So maybe one of the regret I had was earlier was that why did I not even study agriculture in the first place? Yeah, because
Everybody has one
because
of those.
I wish investors
one.
can hear you.
because
Can hear you.
no,
now.
yeah. So
Like, really?
I had my first degree at Federal University of Agriculture, Abeokuta, and yeah, it was great. Yeah, maybe because we're still doing some things that are not really what we should be doing. Maybe like giving students cutlass and hoe and things like that. But researching, working on climate change and growing up, I get to know that there's a whole lot you can always get or something. So one thing I notice is that there's always a natural substituent to all these things.
Right.
And it always comes from plants.
Right.
Not even from another thing. So imagine creating a fertilizer component that is plant-based and not maybe ammonia mixed with
that might still
and
come and
things
do
like
some
that.
damage to the soil.
Imagine creating pesticides that are plant. Yeah, they are pesticides that are
they're
plants
organic
now.
pesticides
They're organic.
now,
And
yes.
can we start developing these things? And I think that is the gold mine that we have to start looking at. I've already mentioned evidence-based work, and I've mentioned data analytics.
Sure.
Can we have partnerships, collaborations? Can we have like maybe youths in all these things coming together to form a team to bring out an MVP that do this? And there's a whole lot of fund down already.
Right.
Every
that
day.
people can tap into.
Yeah, every day I keep on seeing fund like, oh, we won this on this. Can you present an RFP to answer that? So I think that's one of the things we have to start doing, maybe from university. I've also worked on some projects on how we can develop innovation right from university, and we start having that whereby students in data analytics, in engineering, and in also in environment come together to have an innovation to do this. And there's a fund for that. So
Interesting.
So like I mentioned, I wouldn't like to talk so much.
Awesome.
So
Fantastic. So all of this is
Yes.
pointing to one fact that there is a need, there is a skill set gap, and there is a need for Nigerian youth to strategically position themselves for this gold mine, or will I say beautiful future that we are gradually
tilting towards.
So let me just sorry to chime in at this point, but I graduated from Unilag Law, and I think a few weeks ago I went back to school, but I went to the sciences. I went to marine science. That's because we have a 66 tank aquarium. I'm interacting a lot with fish. I need to know more about fish. So I sat in the room, and I like to read the room when I go there. And there was an international fisherman that was there, and all the conversations were going. And the students were just bleh. They were just, and I just what's happening? So I asked them a question, and I said, with show of hands, how many of you, this was marine science, I think marine science, how many of you are in this room because that is what Unilag gave me to do? And I was like, in all honesty, I want to see a show of hands. A majority of them put up their hands. And I said, how many of you are doing this because that's exactly what you want to do? And just one guy.
Wow.
One guy that put up his hand. And that's where the problem is, because a lot of these people, especially in these in universities, and that's what they gave me. So you spend 4 years
just feel like you're just whiling away time.
whiling away time. And I told them
certificate.
exactly.
Yeah.
And I told them, I said, what you have been given is a gift. Because right now, all over the world, people, especially in the blue economy, people are looking for you. I actually had to go there because I have 66 tanks. I don't know anything about fish. I didn't study it.
Wow.
And now you have the opportunity to study
To
it and
become
learn.
a master in that
Why
field.
not? Exactly. So there's so many young people that are just passing time because they feel they didn't give. But what you have, if you look at what you have and you do it properly, and you decide to apply yourself, put your mind to it,
Exactly.
you'll be sought after globally. And I want young people to also know that whatever it is, even if you are studying Yoruba, my Yoruba is not so good. And a lot of people in America, they have kids in the UK, they have kids that don't understand the language. And now there's it's called Ipada. People are Jakbaing, but there are people that are coming back. And they need to
Jakbada.
understand the Jakbada, exactly. And they need to understand the language. So if you studied Yoruba in school, you are sought after.
Right.
You could start a blog, you could do anything. You could even start teaching people about
virtually.
Yeah.
the economic benefits of these trees and the names of all these trees, because they have local names as well. So there's so much we can do.
Even that also fixes the issue of the disconnect, because
Exactly.
it feels like our older people who are more knowledgeable about these herbs and so know it in the language.
In the language,
And
exactly.
so it feels like the younger people who are more versed in English cannot connect with that knowledge. So you feel
Exactly.
like you're spot on. So that person can just
Exactly.
come and be the bridge.
You can be the bridge, exactly.
I wanted to ask if there's a difference in the green jobs in Nigeria or Africa with other continents. So are we agreeing or disagreeing that green jobs are the same across the globe, or they vary due to jurisdictional differences?
Yeah, I think it's true that they vary because we do not really have the same climate, and so but the thing is just that I think it's more available here because of the kind of vegetation that we have, and everybody knows this, that Africa actually faces the highest challenge when it comes to climate change effects, drought and things like that. There's no drought in America actually, so you can't be solving the problem of drought. Maybe they will have problem with water killing them and things like that. Tsunami and things like that. But we're peculiar here. We also have problem with food securities and things like that. We have problem with managing our coastal area now. I don't know for people in Lekki now. Thank God for people like us that stay in mainland. So
You also have to shout out to Nigerian Conservation Foundation because of the 78 hectares. The trees,
the
wetland, they've been absorbing some of the flood.
I was going there actually.
Please give us some.
Thank you.
I want to applaud.
So now I was just pitching on the call I had earlier today. I was just pitching to University of Edinburgh about how to solve flood problem in Lagos, and one of the things is just that maybe they've been doing a lot over other countries, but the thing is that it's more focused here. So I think this is actually where we need to focus on the opportunities there. The problem is there. The business opportunity is there also. And it's actually a gold mine. And it's also something anybody's not looking at now. So which I think that if we start looking at it today, we're going to get to a place that we're going to make the money out of it, and we're also going to solve the problem at the same time.
Fantastic. So like he asked, are there challenges that obviously there's nothing good that will not encounter, but I mean it's good that people have this mindset that okay, these are certain sharing from your experiences in the field, so they are better equipped on how to mitigate them or manage them, so to speak.
I would say one of the major challenges is the fact that, especially in Nigeria, people still don't understand the importance of the work that we do. They think it's just okay, she's planting trees, well done. Oh, she's cleaning the beach, well done. No, it has to do with life and death. You cannot say you want to live in a society and then there is there are things that are going to happen and you have seen it because probably you didn't plant the trees when you were supposed to, or you didn't take care of the environment. Everybody will talk about, there's a cholera outbreak, and that's because a lot of people they were throwing their waste into the gutters. People are building on canals. There's so many things that environmental work has to really, really show that, see, you cannot just be doing anyhow. If you do anyhow, you know how they say, you see anyhow. So that's why our work is important. When we started, nobody really understood what we were doing. And because of that, we were ridiculed. And even till now, some other people still think, oh, there are other things that people need to do. Oh, you could say, this is happening, oh, there's war, there's riot, there's this. But what is leading to that? If you check all your whys, you find out that most of them are environmental. You know, if you look at the issues happening up north, deforestation is happening. People are looking for food, and it is because of the climate. You know, so we need to start to let people know that, come on, this thing that we're doing it for the future. We're not just having a laugh, or we're not lazy, or we're not jobless. That's one. Another thing is the people. You know, I've mentioned the mindsets, you know, a lot, but the people that you work with in this generation, everybody wants click, bang, bang. They want everything fast. You can't plant a tree today and expect to reap the fruits tomorrow morning.
Exactly.
You know, there's a wait time. You know, we need to build, we need to educate the younger ones, we need to re-educate, or, you know, unlearn things that we've learned, especially, you know, the older generation. There's a lot that we need to do, and that's where the challenges are. But in those challenges, there are opportunities there, and there are also jobs there as well.
Right.
I really love this. I mean, this just brought something to my mind that, you know, the recently conducted COP, Ramsar COP 15, it happened in Zimbabwe last month, and I was opportune to be there. And one of the striking things that is happening across all the MEAs, the multilateral environmental agreements, is this: there is a clause, or there is a call for active youth participation at these conferences, these global conferences. Like you said, if people build their skills, right, their skill set, they tap into this growing, I want to call it a growing economy now, right?
Yeah.
So you don't know, you may be recognized globally. So if somebody, if a young person is doing upcycling, or, you know, plastic recycling and all of that, you know, what kind of challenges do they pay on money, in all of those things? Let people
bringing
know,
it home.
do they pay that? Do you pay? You know how, you know, Nigerian businesses are really, really taxed and levied. I don't know if there could be some level of concession towards this sector of businesses. This, you know, eco-friendly, let's call it eco-friendly businesses, so as to motivate people.
So she has spoken about education part, which is one of the main things, societal education part. I think another part is funding. Very, very big. You can't do business without money, really.
Funding.
And it's not even only funding. It's the fact that, number one, if you are not okay yourself,
exactly,
you would think, you will not be able to think innovative about how to solve the problem, because what you are doing about environmental business is not because you're looking for money, it's because you want to create a change. And in that sense, you're also like creating business. So if you've not eaten, your brain will not really like bring that part. So that's where some concessional funding actually like comes in, like things like grants, things like even government support. So we want to see how government can even call people together. The fact that, oh, fine, we just want you to have the idea alone. You don't even need to have the MVP or maybe pilot or things like that. Once you just have the idea, there's an avenue for you to enter a pitch, and you pitch your idea to get this kind of support. It can be as small as $500. I think 54 Collectives did something similar to that, giving $900, $1,000, $500 just to like see, okay, fine, this is what you can do. And I think private organizations can start doing that. International bodies, corporate organizations should start doing that to solve this problem of funding. I think another problem is also policy, like you've mentioned. Omonile is actually a policy, really.
I agree. I agree.
Yeah, if government wants to solve it, they will do, right? I believe government can do things. Government business is not to be creating business, actually. It's to create an avenue to be able to do business with ease. Imagine when I started my NGO, I spent almost like more than 1 year and a half trying to register an NGO. Crazy stuff. And that is what is happening today.
Did you contact a lawyer?
I did everything. Actually. Contacted a lawyer, even gave money, spent more than 200,000 naira. Imagine to start an NGO. Imagine, I want to help people. And I understand the fact that people also like use this as an avenue, but I think that there should be some kind of ease when it comes to doing this kind of thing, then also ease of doing business. Can there be concession for me when it comes to land use, especially when I'm doing waste recycling and things like this? Then do government stop Omonile from beating me up if I want to open a kind of businesses? Then we have like established things like carbon credits, tax exemptions when it comes to this also. Then I still see that maybe recently the solar panel tax was actually kind of removed. So I think these are some of the ways we need to double back to see that if you're doing this kind of businesses, there should be concessions for you. There should be keys for you in maybe how you register, how you do things. And I think I'll just stop there.
I just want to say that, I mean, the new fiscal policy, the new tax regime now, I think it covered some of these incentives that will take effect from 1st of January 2026. So some of these things the government has done, and we are grateful, and as we keep pushing for more, we need to thank them.
Exactly. Now we're done. We're done. They try.
I'd like to ask one person, and maybe you, what's that one thing you wish you knew when you were starting out earlier that you could give as an advice to those coming in now? That's that. Then for you, Oluwaseyi, I'd like to ask this. So if there's somebody listening right now, what's that first step that you feel they should start out with? I think that's a good way to look to.
So I think when anyone that is thinking about starting now, you're thinking. I think the first thing you have to do is to think, really. So number one, get education and skills.
Yes,
they're very, very, very important. You can't do something you don't know about. When it comes to technical skills, when it comes to managerial skills, and when it comes to education know-how, you need to be able to understand your environment. What is the problem, especially, and how can I solve this problem technically? And how can I solve this problem managerially too? Because technical skills without managerial skills is not going to give you money. You will just be doing it and you will see that. So if you can combine these two skills together and these two kind of education together, I think you're going to a right place, because these things are going to teach you how to make money, teach you how to scale it, teach you how to put it out to people, and also teach you how for people to also like buy what you're putting into market. So
also
one thing I didn't know then that I know now is you need to incubate. And when I say incubate, a child or a fetus, I think that's the word for science people here. A fetus cannot grow outside the womb. Do you understand? A seed cannot grow outside the soil, except you're doing hydroponics and all the other things. But what I'm saying is, try as much as possible. There are a lot of Saucy brothers out there and Saucy sisters. Saucy means sustainable. So there are a lot of us out there. And try to incubate yourself, trying to look for your tribe, trying to look for a network of people that would help you grow, not just far, but also fast. Because, everybody's talking about 2030. And, there's so many things we should have done 2, 3, 4 decades ago that we're just doing now. So incubate, look for people that understand what you're doing and share your projects and the things that you want to do, your passion, with the right people. You will make a few mistakes, trust me. And when you do, don't beat yourself up. Start again and start stronger.
Awesome. Thank you so
Good
much.
words,
Powerful,
right?
powerful
Thank
last
you.
words there.
It's been a very, very inspiring and
Insightful conversation.
informed conversation. Most young people always complain, I don't have the capital, I don't do this dirty, quote and unquote, saucy, dirty jobs
Exactly,
now.
exactly.
And then you raise funds because you have to start. They say charity begins at home. Start up something, incubate. Those are your right words. Incubate, meet the right community so that they can. If you don't know where to go to, come to Nigerian Conservation.
Come here. Come here.
You find tons of ideas.
Collaborate with private individuals, businesses, organizations, companies. Come, let us help you do these things. We've been here for over 44 years. We have the expertise, we have the knowledge, we have the experience.
Exactly.
We have technical people on the field doing various jobs across the 6 geopolitical zones. So we sort of have a hang of the Nigerian climate. We have to be very intentional about the things we do for the environment. The other day we saw where a live hippopotamus was killed and the meat was shared in Edo State. It was it's appalling, and we had a stand on it that no, this is wrong.
Yes,
These
I
are
saw that.
endangered species, and we can't keep eating them. Some of the along the coastal line where we do sea turtle
Conservation, yes.
You see somebody eating the eggs.
And they'll say give you long life.
Exactly. So we need to address some of these wrong notions, myths, and all.
How you've eaten a generation?
That's short life now.
Exactly.
You've eaten a whole generation in your
Right.
stomach.
Right.
So, so these are like, and I really love the way the conversation went. It's very, very practical, and I thank God. Some of the words you even said, I have to go back and go and do the research because these are like new career paths that people
Yes.
have to
Completely. Yes.
Yeah.
tap
Totally.
into and
Totally.
take
Totally.
opportunity. Take those opportunities. It's really, really nice having you in the studio. Is there something in particular you really want to hit the nail on the head on? Something you're very, very passionate about that you want people to take home from?
Okay,
for this
I think I'll
Okay, I want to
Okay.
tell everyone, no matter how old, no matter how young you are, go and start something. Now there's no time for excuses. We need you. The world needs you. So go and start. However it is you want to start. Go and plant a tree. Go and recycle. Go and
Right.
do something. Advocate. Start something. Go and do reels. There's something you can do, and you know it because it's
Yeah.
here. So start with something you're passionate about for the environment.
Okay, so to me,
Yes.
it's kind of very different. I think I just want to beg Lagos people, please. You guys still throw banana peels out of cars and still throw
Interesting.
pure water nylon on the road, please.
Right.
I saw someone driving a Lexus. I've forgotten the name of the Lexus. All this Lexus Jeep, and he threw pure water nylon outside. I felt like, oh my God, like. Please let's stop it, and we're causing more problem now because there's a whole lot of flood now, and it's not like the water has increased. Actually, it's not. It's just because our refuse has increased and we are throwing it inside
Right.
water. So please let's stop it so that we can have a very good environment, so that water will not carry all of us away, and so that the work NCF is doing will not also be in vain. So
Right.
I just
Thank you so much.
So we are going to have, a signage where you'd
Like a
actually
little tradition.
It's our
Something.
tradition.
Okay.
Just show them that you were here, right?
Okay, Sanders.
So we have.
Alright, so here's your
This is
when it comes to you.
thank
Thank
you.
you.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Thank
Thank you for coming.
Sign off.
Fantastic.
So,
Oh, beautiful handwriting.
today is okay.
Yes. All right. So, right after the signing, we have a little package for you. Everything is eco-friendly and thank you. Thank you so much.
Crazy.
Thank you.
It's
You're
literally in front of you, and you
I
like
love
to
gifts. I love gifts.
Yes, you can unbox
Thank
it.
you.
You
You
can
can
unbox
pick
so
it.
much.
Yes.
So,
I love surprise gifts, especially when
Emphasis on eco-friendly.
Oh,
Yes.
Okay.
eco-friendly gifts.
You tried. You tried.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And
So we've heard from everything they've said today. We've
Right.
spoken about how green job is the real gold mine now. It's like every generation there is a boom.
yes,
Yes.
exactly.
So this is our next boom now for this generation. Gen Alpha, Gen X, Gen Z.
Gen Z.
This is our next boom. So you're actually
Yeah.
solving economic problems in the society and
Yeah.
at the same time creating impact. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I
Yes.
hope
so
I
much.
hope you guys enjoyed this episode as much as we did. It was so fun, so much fun having this conversation with you both.
Yeah.
Oluwaseyi, thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you
And
so much.
Doyinsola,
Thank you so much.
my Janlas, the two of you.
And last, I'd just like to say again, of course, a big thank you to the Nigerian Conservation Foundation
Yeah.
for facilitating this. And of course, you can also follow us across all platforms
All
at
platforms.
NCF Nigeria, and also follow the Naija Eco Vibes podcast at Naija Eco Vibes podcast. You can find us on Spotify. And across all platforms.
All
Thank you so
platforms.
much. It's been
Thank
a
you so
beautiful
much, guys.
conversation.
Please
Thank
don't
you.
forget to like,
Yes.
comment. Let us know what you
Subscribe,
think about
share.
our
Share it,
episode.
oh,
Let us
share
know
it.
the next conversation. Let us know the next set of people you want us to bring up to this.
Right in the
Studio.
comments. Drop your
Please
thoughts.
follow us. And remember, we are sustaining nature one vibe at a
At a time.
See you next time.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.